Okay, are you guys ready to go today? Well, it's that time again. It's that time of week. And boy, these weeks going fast. Fortunately, we've got something to be drawing today. We got a lucky winner for the Backer Kid contest. He was a top participant in the chats that go on to spread the word about Nexus. And so he's getting a black and white headshot. Of course, I'm doing a little more than that. He has some recommendations here, and one of them is a Doc Savage thing. There might be a Duck Savage out there too. Doc Savage is going to be holding a chess piece here, Black Knight. And that also ties in with a question somebody had coming up later on, which I should probably say now. Morgan Ryan Art writes in, what tools do you use for inking? Obviously a very common question, something that you're going to get throughout your lifetime, and when you guys get to be experts, you're going to get that very question yourself. She goes, I usually use microns, but I've dabbled with a brush. Well, I assume Morgan is your first name, so Morgan, stick around, because we're going to be using brush and pen nib and ink to produce this illustration right here in black and white. And I'll show you exactly how I use this stuff. Now it is inking time, so we need the camera to go right behind the back of the dude here. First, I'm going to introduce our tools. We've got two kind of inks here, and I never used to do that. But then I visited Al Williamson House, another one of the guys from the Silver Age. He has two different kinds of inks, watered down ink and this regular thick ink for the brush. A lot of times you guys, when you're working with a pen nib, can't get the nib going because the ink is too thick. So I just shoot it with a lot of Windex here. Economy size, 100% ocean-bound special plastic. Oh, social plastic. In partnership with Plastic Bank. Well, who would have thought? Okay, so I just give this a shot like this, and in it goes. I stir it up a little bit, and we're ready to go. Now, there's two ways I can approach this right here, but before I do that, I'm going to mention the kind of brushes that I use. Here is King Art brush. These are the guys that replaced the Lowell Cornells. You guys know how pissed I am about that. The Lowell Cornells were the best synthetic brushes on any 5 planets. But these are the ones I'm forced to use now. They're not as good, but what can you do, right? Actually, I could start my own shop with making Cornells. The reason I'm holding this up is because this is too small. This is the size all you guys use. All you sissies guys, the wimps out there, use that. The dude here uses the number 10, and this happens to be a Lowell Cornell. And you're gonna see me ink 90% of this damn thing with this size 10. All the brush has to do is come to a point and have good snap, and you're ready to go. When I'm feeling less brave, I actually go back to a number 8. This is also a King Art brush right here. Ultra round. You want to make sure you get a really sharp point on these things, because otherwise you're going to get a blunt point, and that's not going to be very much fun. So let's dip it into the pen right here. The interesting thing about something like this is, see, the ink is watered down enough so that we can actually get some good strokes here with the ink starting out, and not having to refill it every 5 seconds. We hope. But this is the acid test, and we'll see how we're going to do here. This is Doc Savage, the Doc Savage commission I mentioned earlier. Let's give him big D for a belt buckle here. Clever, huh? Absolutely. And we all know the way the belt goes around somebody. It tucks into these little things around the pants, the loops. And I think one's going to be right around there. You don't have to start with a pen, guys. You can. It's completely interchangeable. I just happen to be fond of the pen because I'm in more control of it as a drafting tool. In other words, it's easier for me to draw with a pen nib. There you go. There's some cool lines there. That's a half-tone line right there. Than it would be with a brush. But this to show you that dude is indomitable and can do anything he wants, we're going to step into brush soon enough right here and show you the other way of doing things, because this is an all-purpose channel where everything is covered, regardless of whether I know how to use it well or not. We throw ourselves into things here. This is going to be a half-tone thing right here. And a half-tone thing is when you don't do like this and black it in. It's like, it's a graduation. It's a turning of the form, see? And if you want to get a little fancy and do some cross-hatching, you can do that. It's allowed. There's no rule against it. last time I checked. So there's that, and there's also this this really cool thing that Barry Smith was doing for a long time. He would do this. He called it a dot dash kind of a thing, and I really like it. As far as I know, he came up with that strictly from looking at old lithographs and etchings. And so he would do, instead of like this, and this, these super crisp Joe Sinnott kind of lines, he would do something like this. And then he would cross hatch a little bit, and that's kind of his little touch, and he might put a little, adjustments on it. Oh, the first ink that I spilled on the page here is right there, so I'm glad we got that out of the way. It's inevitable, it happens every time. So we have to dip it in the water again, and then dip it in. Hopefully the ink is going to be, all right, wise guy, you want to give me a hard time, huh? Why do you think I have this sheet like this over here? Yeah, see, that's what happens right there when it decides to be uncooperative. All right, so shove it, brush. Let's grab the number 10 here, Lowell Cornell, and I'm going to show you inking with a brush here, okay? So right now I'm dipping into the black ink with a brush, and I want to do some stuff over here, but the area is a little wet still. So I'm going to start over here. Remember, this is a big brush, a big number 10, and I can get the same kind of lines that you guys get with your little skinny ass brushes that I'm trying to get people away from. At least, at the very least, at least try it to see what's out there. Do not stick with something because someone else told you that this is the way it is, and even if it's someone you really admire, they're not really you guys. You're someone else, and your preferences are going to be as different from him as his are to other great artists. I had some photographic help. He's going to be looking at a knight, which is a horse in the chess game. These are things that I shot of myself right here to get the lighting right. I'm actually setting up a double lighting kind of a thing, which I had to shoot by myself because no one else was available, and I'm used to it. So, okay, see that, guys? That is brush inking right there. And it is a lot of fun. The other advantage of brush is it dries a lot faster. Ink that comes off a brush dries a lot faster. So let's get some really skinny lines in here and do some halftone kind of thing going on here. So if we got some double lighting going on, it's important to focus on that sense of double lighting on the head. I really should be setting this stuff up so that the lighting works in one shot. Both lightings are in place on the same photo instead of having to shoot them separately, which is kind of a drag, but so brush inking, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the ears. I'm also going to modify this from what I saw in the photo. The photo's used as a reference, so I'm just going to look at happens to be my own ear. Okay, so that kind of satisfies that for me right there. We're also going to be surrounding this figure with black. Strictly with black, okay? But this is Doc Savage in his civvy outfit, the non-ripped version, because he hasn't gone into action yet. This is going to be entirely brush inked from now on, I think. So you guys just relax, grab some Colonel Sanders, and sit back with your favorite beverage. Mine is root beer, so feel free to send in samples. I prefer the gourmet variety, and just have fun, sit back and watch someone else do the work for once. I think that's a good way to go. Let the dude do the work here, okay? I think that should be our company slogan. Let the dude do the work. This is a hand. This was actually in shadow, but I want it to be halftone here. And then get denser. Another advantage of a brush this big, like how fast it goes. Look at her go. Look at her rip. Sorry, Barry, I'll abandon this and obliterate it. I'm also looking for ways to keep this as a design, as a, not a literal thing necessarily. Like there would be shadows in this thing right here. Do I necessarily want to do that? Well, I don't know. I think it might look kind of cool, just kind of a big white space like that. Let's hear from a few Rhodes Scholars. I mean, I know there's a few out there, and I know that we've talked to some already, but I really want to know how the semester is going over there in England. Got like a little fat? Yeah, well, 2 points off for the dude. Sorry. Now the belt thing goes in here. We could do a kind of a shiny number right here. And I think for this we're going to just do kind of a halftone thing. This is actually what Leyendecker did, in the way he did halftones. Halftone is not a dark, it's not a light, it's a halfway in between tone. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Oh, did I show you my little thumbnail for this thing? There's my little thumbnail. Remember I said I always do little thumbnails. I take the drawing, I reduce it, and then I take a marker and try to figure the best way to apply the blacks. Well, that's just what I'm doing here. Inking Comics seems to bring out a lot of comments with you guys, which is a very good thing. He's got Jodhpurs on. Yeah, weird name, I know. I never knew what they were called for the longest time, and I kind of still don't, but that's what they're called, Jodhpurs. No doubt named after Clarence Jodhpur from the 1900s. There should be a little bit of stuff going on here. That's the way I've interpreted it so far. And we need a sense of nose action going on here. So I think we've got proper dynamics going on here. This is actually a halftone here, so we're going to do the little soft feathering kind of thing going on there. So yeah, this is number 10, Lowell Cornell, the best brushes I've ever seen. They were so thoughtful they decided not to make them anymore, which I keep harping on. I believe that the death penalty should be reinstated immediately for those that decided to discontinue them. I hope that isn't too harsh, but I think it actually should be worse in some cases. It's time for the horse. How does the horse go? Nay. And this is a reflective horse right here. He happens to be the reflective variety. And he's going to have a little mane thing going on back there. But I've got to ink around him because this background is going to be all black. Ergo, the horse has got to read in spite of the fact that there's no actual outlines. And I kind of have succeeded at that. Again, the big brush has a lot of uses here, doesn't it? And you guys see me doing this kind of stuff right here. I just think it's cool. This is, how illustrators work. They didn't go about doing things like this really rigidly or anything. This is, they worked organically, depending on their tastes. Some people would be really tight, like people in the comic book business, and others would be way different, depending on their temperament, their artistic temperament. So I'm just following my thing down there. What I'm doing now is all dependent on how well you know the forms of the head. So you people that asked about the inking, this is probably the best you're going to get out of me in the way of actual physical demonstration. I'm going to keep the back of the chair open because I want that to be a clear non-cluttered, just kind of a design, I think. This is a big arc. And if I clutter it up with too much stuff or put too much black in there, or do this really rendered with little wood textures kind of thing, I don't think it'll work very well. So we don't want to do that. I can see this doesn't quite work down there, so I'm going to do this right here. And don't forget we have that wonderful chessboard coming up. Who's going to want to miss out on that? I've been writing a lot of letters to various people out there. On occasion, it's the people that I'm trying to get solicit for work on the Nexus cartoon show, which is always a thrill for me. You just have to know how to animate. And the guys that have written in so far, it's kind of a coin toss to see if they really know what they're doing. You'll find out real fast. When you're an artist, you can't hide what you don't know. Someone like me or anyone with a pair of eyes that knows how to draw or paint will be able to instantly tell you in a second, which is an advantage over writers, because writers, you have to read their stuff. With artists, you just take 1/2 second of a look and you know if they're good enough. So, big brush, covers a lot of ground. Oh, we're going to do some half-tone stuff here. If I really squeeze this brush enough, I can get some really skinny lines out of it. Let's try. There you go. Skinny lines, proof positive, once again. Okay. And then I'll look at it again. When everything is done, I'll just look at it and think, what else does it need here? I don't think I need that white space down there. I don't know about this shape coming down like this. I might rim like that. What do you think? Do you guys like that shape in there intruding over his leg? Because I think I'm going to rim light it or something. Okay, I decided. Too late. We're going to rim light it here. So watch the way I'm going to do this right here. This is kind of fun. It's a nice added look to something that's round that doesn't have to be rendered like this. But it's kind of cool. And if you want to really block it out, you either close the shapes up here, or you do kind of a halftone cross thing. Whatever you prefer. And gentlemen prefer blondes. The next final thing here that I can see for Ray, who is the owner of this, who's going to be owning this commission here, is to do the chessboard. We're going in with some little things here, little details. And if I need to use whiteout for whatever reason, which is hardly a rare experience with me, I just go in there and use it. So there's a horse, there's our man. We got our man, we got our horse, and we got our ink. I don't like the half-tone look of the ink when it goes on half black and half this. I like to see, you know, a really bold thing without all the little interruptions going on here. I've seen a lot of artists that put really lightweight ink on their work, and it looks like a mistake, actually. So there's the Jodhpurs, and there's the seam. Oh, we got to add the rest of the seam. See how skinny lines I can get with a big number 10? Yes, you can. Can you say that? We're going to go to the Magic Kingdom right after this, and you can tell me all about it. All right. In order for me to do this chess piece, the chessboard, I've got to put all the little rank and files in there, okay? Then the checkerboard pattern goes in after that. But I have to do the, first things first, guys, right? I'll have to put another line on horse here. He needs a rim light on top of his head. So that's the way this is turning out so far. Would you look at that? That's disgraceful. And I try to make it a habit, because if an artist isn't a slob, I don't think he belongs in the league. The Artist Guild does not want to see clean artists. All right, so there you go, guys. There's only one little area that I can see that needs whiteout. And what is that little area? Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your ink thing. Shake your whiteout. Aha. All right, guys, there you go. Oh, I got to put the horse thing on there, right? Yeah. Always a delicate procedure if there ever was one. Voila. Okay, what do you guys think of that? Hopefully the winner, Ray, is somewhere over the moon. We'll pick him up shortly and bring him down to Earth. But there you go. I hope you like it, Ray, and thanks for being the winner for our contest here. This is what winners get when they join the Patreon movement here. Once this is done, I'm going to erase all the pencils. Maybe I'll do a little starry sky back there. I don't know. And then I'm going to put the chessboard in, which I'll show you next week. That is it for this week right here. Books for sale. The figure drawing book is almost entirely sold out. That's a perfect Christmas gift. It's really, we put a lot into this book, and I think that anyone that sees it will see the value of it. And of course, the book that it was originally spawned for this, How to Draw the Animated Nexus. And that shows you all the things I want the people that work with me in the show to know, so they can do Nexus alongside of myself and do hopefully an even better job. I hope that was entertaining enough. Keep working hard, never forget your dreams, and do good work. We'll see ya.